Well, we may split practices under the build of dominance into two categories. The first one is pricing, and the second one is non-pricing. But let's begin with these pricing practices. It could be the case of exploitative pricing practices, or you provide some rebates with similar effect to exclusive dealing agreements, which we previously considered in the vertical restraints and vertical measure topic already. Or you force to bundling a set of products together. You impose this predatory pricing, which is one of the main things that we will consider subsequently. You have margin squeezing, or you have this price discrimination. Okay, so that was the pricing practices, and you will see soon why we need to go through all these materials in order to understand what it means by total cost, what it means by variable cost, and what it means by the fixed cost, and why the average variable cost and average total cost are really important to understand the right level of pricing that a firm should set. This is the alternative practices that have nothing to do with price directly, but eventually it would affect pricing to a certain extent anyway. It could be in the form of having these exclusive dealing agreements, which basically means you have to buy from me only, or you have to sell to me only. You can't sell to the other players. A quantity forcing that we discussed earlier, tying, saying that okay, if you want to purchase this, you have to purchase another type of goods that I'm also providing as well. The refusal to supply, saying that I would not supply this certain level of product. And resales price maintenance, by setting the price that you have to sell to your customers. So for example, I'm a supplier and I supply my product to the retailer, and then I tell the retailer that the price of your product that you send to distributor has to be at this level. It has to be not greater than certain threshold or not below the certain threshold. As you may recall that we have discussed this agreement earlier, but when it comes to this abuse of dominance, what is so important is that you have to consider these actions that are done by the firms who are a dominant player. We're going to discuss these particular actions when this is done by certain trading partners, each of whom might have no market power at all. I mean, in the sense of there might be some player, but not a dominant player in a particular market, and that is what we will cover in the next topic as the unfair trade practice. But here, this is the abuse of dominance, and the one who conduct all these practices have to be a dominant business operator.